Well, new developments out of the Middle East this morning. The Associated Press reports that dozens of people were killed yesterday and overnight by Israeli strikes in Rafah. This as Israel claims that the munitions it used on a camp or near a camp in Rafah on Sunday were too small to spark the massive fire that killed more than 40 Palestinians. Israel says a secondary explosion, possibly from Palestinian militants' weapons, may have caused the blaze. Meanwhile, the White House says Israel's latest actions in Rafah have not violated President Biden's red line. During a tense exchange with CBS's Ed O'Keefe, Ed pressed National Security spokesman John Kirby on whether the president has a limit to the civilian suffering.
How many more charred corpses does he have to see before the president considers a change in policy?
We don't want to see a single more innocent life taken, and I kind of take a little offense at the question. No civilian casualties is the right number of civilian casualties, and this is not something that we've turned a blind eye to, nor has it been something we've ignored or neglected to raise with our Israeli counterparts, including, Ed, this weekend as a result of this particular strike. Now, they're investigating it, so let's let them investigate it and see what they come up with.
So for more on this, I'm joined by CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd. She's a former assistant secretary for counterterrorism at the Department of Homeland Security. It's really good to have you here. You heard that back and forth with Ed. Has the administration painted itself into a corner by determining that there is a red line in Gaza? And is there a red line?
Well, the red line route historically, Emery, has been a trap. I was in the Obama White House. President Obama drew a red line over the Syrian government's use of chemical weapons, which he did not keep. Admiral Kirby, with whom I've worked closely, is now in an undesirable position insofar as he's really wordsmithing the president's red line. The president originally said basically that the U.S. would consider a change in policy if Israel went into densely populated areas. Israel is doing relatively limited ground operations in Rafah. However, at the same time, these aerial bombardments are killing civilians. So while the White House is focused on the tactics that could violate the so-called red line, the actual impact, the death of civilians is happening.
You know, a number of countries, including the U.S., have tried to encourage Benjamin Netanyahu to not only think about the end of the war, but think about what happens after the war. There are negotiations happening in Qatar, negotiations with Saudi Arabia to determine what Palestine will look like after the war. The Prime Minister, Netanyahu, seems resistant to this conversation. My question to you is Israeli national security and American national security priorities still on the same page?
At a strategic level, I believe they are. Both countries want to see the long-term security of the state of Israel. However, where they currently differ is on the tactics on how to go there, how to get there. I don't think we know that Prime Minister Netanyahu at this point really wants to see a two-state solution that enables the growth and the safety and security of the Palestinian people. So while the U.S. and Israel agree that Hamas and other terrorist groups must be mitigated, I don't know at this time that we know that Prime Minister Netanyahu really, truly believes that a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinian people is in the long-term security interests of Israel and the Palestinians as well.
Listen, we're going to run out of time, so I got to ask you about just a new update that we got on the humanitarian aid pier that was built. It seems that through the rough waters, there's been some damage to the pier. Do we know anything more about that? And thus far, how successful has that pier been?
The pier has had fits and starts, to put it mildly. The pier did deliver about 1,000 metric tons of aid into Gaza after days of delays, a lot of logistical and security issues, and now it's offline for at least a week, which is devastating in light of the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza at the moment.
And you know, you said fits and starts. Is it a result of the bridge, or what I'm trying to get at is the aid being allowed to get in once it gets on that pier?
The aid is being delivered to the beach. However, there have been a lot of issues getting the aid from the beach to the people that need it in Gaza. There have been security issues with the trucks that have to leave the port, as well as logistical delays more broadly. So overall, the pier has not been as successful as many of us would have hoped in light of the dire humanitarian situation on the ground.
All right, Sam, thank you very
Thanks.
much.